Good morning to you. It is Saturday. It is July 11. Today we dove into John 17. It's been John like the past 3 or 4 days, I think. He's 17, 16, 15, 14. Yeah, so 4 days that have split up. Or four chapters have split up. But it's good. It's good. Today was cool. Today was interesting. Jesus, all about him and his prayer in the garden. His prayer over himself, his prayer over his disciples, and his prayer over all believers. And now that I think about it, I just took a little sneak into chapter 18. That's when he enters the garden. So never mind, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know where he prayed it. He doesn't specify, but he did. He prayed over all that, and it was really interesting. Really interesting to see his adamant faith and trust in each of the prayers specifically, but just the union, the theme, that's what I wrote down just over the whole chapter 17. The theme of unity between himself, Christ, and God, and like their glory being one, and that Christ, his glory and his presence on earth is all for God's glory, and together their glory is encapsulating, and it's so cool. But not only that, also their love together being declared and offered to all, and so on. I love it. I love that theme of unity between the two. It's so cool. It's so cool. But first thing I caught was in verses 1 through 2. That is, Christ, knowing his time had come, prayed that God would be glorified through him, that his purpose on earth, his authority on earth would all be put behind him, and that he would simply glorify God. That was what he desired. And he said that through that glorification, that his work would be done, and that the gift of eternality for believers would be readily given. And that's so cool. That's like his purpose coming to fulfillment, right? And he's recognizing that, and he wants all to be done is for God's glory to be given. I love that. I think that's really cool. I also caught in verse 12, this was when he was praying for his disciples. He kind of specifically noted Judas, calling him, not by his name, but by, quote, son of perdition. Kind of a title showing like his eternal damnation for his actions, right? His being lost from his group, from his disciples, and turning away. Now he is this son of perdition, son of the pernicious one, of Satan, right? And that's pretty deep. But it shows, yeah, he was lost, but it was all foreordained. This was all a part of the plan. This was God's will, right? This was his plan for the world. Christ and his crucifixion could not be done without this. And without Christ's crucifixion, we would not have forgiveness. We would not be able to be given the gift of eternal life. So it all works together for good, right? Something so terrible can be worked together for good. And yeah, that's wild. But I love each of these prayers for himself, for his disciples, and for believers. And the one for the believers is by far the longest. The one for his disciples, showing how much he cared deeply for them. And they were going to be the ones that were going to take on kind of his legacy, right? So he needed to care. He needed to pray for them. He needed to shine his spirit upon them and give them peace, right? So all in all, really cool chapter, all about prayer. I think we can really model Christ's prayer too, his adamancy, his true faithfulness. And we will never be in that union that he was with God the Father, but we can emulate that. We can put that on as best as we can, right? And put ourselves, when we're praying, in a deep union with God of faith, right? So all in all, very cool. That's John 17. Peace out.